Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the regular meeting of Mayor and Council of the Borough of Glassboro for September 26, 2023 to order. Karen, could you please read the opening statement?
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting, as required by said act, has been provided by adopting a schedule of regular meetings for the year 2023, which schedule was posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board as well as the Borough website and forwarded to both the South Jersey Times and the Sentinel of Gloucester County, filed with the Borough Clerk on January 7th, 2023.
Thank you. Can we all rise to salute the flag, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Karen, roll call, please.
Mayor Wallace.
Here.
Mr. Cossabone.
Present.
Mr. D'Alessandro.
Here.
Mr. Fiola.
Here.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Here.
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Mr. Melandro.
Here.
Mr. Scafidi.
Here.
Mr. Brunemer.
Here. Thank you. And at this time, we have a presentation from our Park and Recreation Golf Committee. If Mark, if you all come forward and. Absolutely.
Good evening. I guess I'll
Good evening.
try and talk this way so I can talk to the audience and everything I get. Thank you for the opportunity. Just wanted to provide a summary for everybody. On June 26th, we had our 32nd annual, or actually 33rd, annual golf tournament. So it's been going on a long time. We have a fundraiser golf tournament for funds to put towards the kids programs, various aspect equipment, referees, coaches, and all those items there. We had it over to Valley Brook again for the second year in a row. It seemed to go pretty well for us. We had 99 golfers for that. We had one firm that works with us that sponsored the golf carts. We had 6 gold sponsors for the corporate sponsors, 13 silver sponsors, and 26 pole sponsors for that. It was really provides a lot of the funds that we are able to put into it for the kids. The golfers all contribute some, but the sponsorships are really where we make the money for those. Special thanks to Matt Blatt. They've been there probably 30 to 33 years. They sponsor the hole-in-one hole for a car to get a hole-in-one. After 33 years, we still have not done that, but we're still trying for those. Another thanks to the Designer Wraps, which is up on North Main Street. They did all the signs for us, and they donate those items for us. And special donations from various consultants, Mr. Scafidi's office, for those and other companies in town. We've gotten tickets from First Harvest Credit Union. Those are all raffled off and to generate more money for the kids. So in the total of that, we ended up generating, and I apologize, the moisture is getting to my sign. We ended up generating about $14,761 for the kids. So just wanted to thank everyone. I want to thank Anna for heading it up. I want to thank Elena and Amanda, who from my office, Patty, and they're the ones that do all the work. I make the announcements. So they do all the work behind the scenes, getting all the sponsorships, all the prizes, and coordination for everything. So they are kind of thrown into it. Hector did it for a few years, and Lori before that. So now they're getting the system down again. So appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Very nice. Moving on, we have no public hearings this evening, so at this time I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 22nd, 2023, as well as the closed executive session of August 22nd, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We have no communications this evening, so I'll move to committee reports and begin with Council President Miller.
Good evening. Just want to say this past Sunday, we had the ribbon cutting for our multi-purpose turf field, which is at South Dulcie Drive Park. our Glassboro midget football team opened up their, they didn't open up, but that was the first time that they played on this new turf field that we received, generous donations from, help me out,
Green Acres.
from the Green Acres. Thank you. And also the senior citizens tomorrow will be having their annual crab feast at the South Delsey Drive Park. I think this might be year 23 or 24 that they're having it. Our soccer team for age 2 to 3 year olds, they've started their program. Unfortunately, they were rained out tonight. But other than that, everything else is going well with our Park and Rec department. And as you see, we just received that generous donation from the support of our colleagues playing golf. So hopefully next year, you guys out there will be able to join us in support. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Councilman Casabo.
Well, thank you, Mayor, but I have nothing to report at this time.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Delisandro.
Mayor, at this time I have nothing.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Fiola.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm in receipt from our CFO, Karen Passione, of the various financial reports for the budget for the month of August 2023. These are kind of periodic status reports that give us the status of the budget at certain times of the year. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Halter.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening.
Still chipping away at the water and sewer project for the DEP lead replacements and still waiting on parts as always.
Thank you very much, sir. And Councilwoman Speck.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
I don't have anything to report, but I do wanna say thank you to, Mark Brunemer for all the hard work he does, along with everyone from Park and Rec. They work so hard for that tournament. It's really quite an endeavor, and they do a great job. And I just want to say thank you, and we appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you very much. Alrighty. We have no unfinished business this evening, so Karen, can you take us through our new business?
Yes, Mayor. I have 2 requests for curb waivers. The first one is they're actually curb and sidewalk waivers. The first one is block 480, lots 9 and 10. The second one is block 480, lots 11 and 12, and we received a report from our engineer stating that it was recommending to waive the curb.
Can I ask a question on that? Is this just curb waivers, no sidewalk waivers?
That's correct, and they will be installing the sidewalks.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
I am also asking governing body for approval to go out to bid for the 2024-2025 sewer lining lateral reinstatement materials.
Motion for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, I'll call upon Mark again for our engineer's report, please.
Just real quick, the townhouse project's continuing over at the Camelot for phase 3. They're getting all their items in place and constructing the townhomes there. The 30 townhouses across the street by Richwood, I understand either the first week of October or second week they're supposed to, D.R. Horton's supposed to purchase that also. They have all the grading plans for the houses done in section 2.2, which is adjacent to Ellis Street, so you'll see some new units going up there. High Street's still going through their punch list, getting down on East 322, going out of town. For those townhouses, they're underway, finishing those up. They have 2 or 3 buildings to finish, so they're getting nearly done on that location. This will probably be the last one. The generator has been installed at Park Avenue. It's been a year and 6 months. We finally got it, and it's in. We have a couple of punch list items. We're working with a contractor on that stuff, but that is in place there. I received an update last week. The landfill is progressing with the solar, so that's going well. In the next 2 months, they should have that in pretty good position. For those items, they're working on some conduit and wiring and things like that, and then you'll start seeing more of the panels come up. Lucio's expansion is pretty much in place over in Ellis Street. We're waiting for DEP approval for some curbing and installation works and some basement work. So we're waiting for that. Hopefully, DEP will get that soon with that. And QOZ storage, which was the old Lucio's on South 47 there, that's, you can see, is underway. And that building will start up in the near future as far as being enclosed self-storage. I get touched on by Ms. Miller. Thanks again for everyone for the turf field. A lot of people go in there. The public works guys, park and rec guys really busting a hump on a lot of things out there, getting things done throughout the project. They did a lot of the concrete work, paving work for the walkways and seating. So thanks to them, that helped save some money, that's for sure, for those. And Burger King's done. So that's also I'll be off too. They did a very nice job. Have to be. It's one of the few times we went through and we could actually issue a CO from right from we didn't have any punch list items. So they were working out there at late night on the weekends, but they got it wrapped up. So we're all in good shape. So a lot more things happen to the planning board, but down the road. Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Anything else for Mark? Thank you again, Mark. At this time, I will turn our meeting over to our Borough Solicitor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Under our consent agenda this evening, we have the following resolutions, beginning with number 276, resolution authorizing refund of street opening performance guarantee, Summit Drilling LLC. Resolution 277, resolution authorization refund of street opening performance guarantee, Jersey Construction Inc. Resolution 278, authorizing award of contract for a 2024 utility truck bid in the Borough of Glassboro to Pellegrino Chevrolet. Resolution 279, authorizing the Glassboro Planning Board to review a proposed redevelopment plan amendment to the third amendment to the Glassboro Central Business District and nearby environs redevelopment plan, a plan for the revitalization of the East High Street area for the purposes of the redevelopment of Block 40, lots 1, 2, 3, 4.02, and 13, Block 44, lots 20 and 21, Block 44, lots 22.03, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 26.01, the project area in the Borough of Glassboro. Resolution 280, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro, Gloucester County authorizing a redevelopment agreement for Block 40, again, lots 1, 2, 3, 4.02, and 13, Block 44, lots 20, 21, 22.03, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 26.01, the project area, an official map of the Borough of Glassboro. 281, authorizing refund of tax overpayments. Resolution 282, authorizing execution of shared services agreement between the Borough of Glassboro and the Glassboro School District to provide field maintenance services by the Glassboro Highway Department for the Glassboro School District. 283, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro, Gloucester County, authorizing execution of a redevelopment agreement for Block 413, Lot 11 on the official tax map of the Borough of Glassboro. Resolution 284, resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Glassboro referring an ordinance amendment, Chapter 107, Development Regulations and Zoning Chapter to the Planning Board pursuant to NJSA 40:55D-64. And there are two additional add-on resolutions this evening. One will be Resolution 285-23, resolution waiving local construction code permit and local water and sewer permit fees for Gloucester County Habitat for Humanity for Block 467, Lot 3, also known as 314 Cleveland Avenue. And one of the second additional resolution, 286, resolution waiving local construction code permit and local water and sewer permit fees for Gloucester County Habitat for Block 52, Lot 16.03, also known as 143 South Academy Street. They are the resolutions on our consent agenda with the addition of the two resolutions that I just read for council's consideration, also for the reasons noted. Under the resolutions on the agenda, council moves for approval. Roll call vote.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Costello.
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro.
4.
Mr. Fiola.
4.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
4.
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mayor, we also have a number of ordinances this evening on introduction tonight. I'll read all of the ordinance. The motion will be for an introduction of all the ordinances, which will have public hearings at a later date. But for tonight's purpose, we'll begin with ordinance 2322, an ordinance approving the financial agreement pursuant to the 5-year tax exemption and abatement law with Woods Glassboro Properties Development LLC, the entity for Block 40, lots 1, 2, 3, 4.02, and 13, Block 44, lots 20, 21, 22.03, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 26.01, the project area in the borough of Glassboro. Ordinance 2323, an ordinance authorizing sale of a portion of Block 40, Lot 1, approximately 78 by 270 feet portion, adjacent to Block 40, Lot 2, Block 40, Lots 2, 3, 4.02, and 13, Block 44, Lots 20, 21, 22.03, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 26.01, the property and project area, and the execution of all necessary documents. Ordinance 2324, an ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan amendment to the third amendment to the Glassboro Central Business District and nearby environs of redevelopment plan, a plan for the revitalization of the East High Street area for the purpose of the redevelopment of Block 40, lots 1, 2, 3, 4.02, and 13, Block 44, lots 20 and 21, Block 44, lots 22.03, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 26.01, the project area in the borough of Glassboro. Ordinance 2325, an ordinance amending chapter 445, vehicles and traffic of the code book of the borough of Glassboro. Ordinance 2326, an ordinance amending chapter 107, development regulations and zoning. And finally, ordinance 2327, ordinance approving a financial agreement pursuant to 5-year tax exemption and abatement law with 401 High Street Partners, QOZB LLC for Block 413, Lot 11, also in the borough of Glassboro. Council so moves for approval would be for the introduction of ordinances number 23-22 through ordinance 23-27. Roll call vote if so moved.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Delisandro?
Four.
Mr. Fiola?
Four.
Mr. Coulter?
4.
Ms. Miller?
4.
Mrs. Spence?
Or,
Motion carries. At this time, I will entertain a motion to open up the public portion.
Move the public portion be open.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to come forward and address mayor and council.
For those members of the public, please note there are rules and regulations that are outlined on the agenda. Most importantly, when you do approach, if you would please identify yourself, spell your name, place of residence, and there is also a 5-minute time limitation per speaker. Thank you.
Hi, Chair. My name is Manuel Cruz Gutierrez. I'm a resident of Glassboro from 419 Conan Road. And I come to address this body regarding the public library that we have in town. I'm myself a librarian. I'm a librarian at University of Pennsylvania. I'm an academic librarian, but I have seen changes in the library. I don't see any communications from either the county or this body. Perhaps I have missed them, but I would like to know what are the plans for the library, as they seem to be moving some of the collections, some of the books are being moved of the library, and there appears to be perhaps some plans to moving the library to a different location. I want to know what those plans are. Thank you.
Currently, sir, the plans are to move the library to a facility that's on the corner of Rowan Boulevard and Main Street. There's a facility being fit out now, and that's where it's slated to go.
And are there any public documents that I can see to see more details?
That would have to be addressed to the county library system. They're the ones, the county is driving all of this. The borough is absolutely in support of it, but the county is the one driving it.
And is that, as far as you know, are those moving to that facility a permanent? does the plant is gonna be there on a permanent basis, or?
The plan, we have not seen, well, we have seen, at least if I'm not speaking out of turn, the library's going to be leased to that building for initially 5 years with the term to, renew that lease after 5 years.
So right now, the library is in a building that belongs to the borough, is that correct?
That is correct.
And now you're gonna be moving to a facility where you're gonna be leasing.
The county is going to be leasing it.
The county is gonna be the.
Correct.
So the county will be paying for that.
That will have to be discussed with the county. Ed, if
The
you wanna-
agreement's still being worked out. We actually saw the agreement for the first time last Thursday.
Okay.
But on a personal level, again, I think very much, me speaking very much in support of the move, spoke to the librarian. We first heard about this in June, asked if we could be of any assistance, and never heard anything again, quite frankly, until last Thursday. So we did not know at that point till last Thursday, and then we saw the agreement for the first time last Thursday, and we have not had a chance to review the agreement as it should be reviewed by our solicitor and so on. But in talking to the librarian, Ms. Alt, she seems very excited about this move. We've offered our assistance in any way of some of the programs that they're going to do in the spring, in the summer, in the fall. We've said you're more than welcome to use the town square. We're gonna try to provide some parking, so we're very much in support of this. But in regards to the agreement, again, we saw it for the first time last Thursday.
So there will, by parking, you mean there will be free parking as it is now?
Again, we didn't see any of this till last Thursday, so
Yeah.
we're trying to work through that right now.
Okay.
Yep.
So just in the minutes that I have left, I do have concerns about this move because I think that the footage is gonna be greatly reduced, and with this, a lot of the services that the community currently has, and so any reductions in those services that I think are perhaps nowhere provided in the town, my concern is that they are gonna disappear, and there will be some harm to the community in that.
Manuel, if I may, it's my understanding that there is a meeting being held tomorrow evening at the library, current library. The commissioner from the county will be there. It might be a great place to address your concerns.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to.
Yeah, I don't have the time off the top of my head, but if you're gonna be here at the end of the meeting, I can see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, I believe
5
so.
o'clock, I'm being
Yes.
told, 5 o'clock.
Okay, I just want to put it out there,
Yes.
and I'm very disappointed that there hasn't been much transparency on this project. There was no input from the community sought after, and that's just not a way that I think this business should be conducted.
Okay, well, just to be clear, Manuel, we were as transparent as we possibly could be. Like, our borough administrator, Ed Melandro, has said, we have been in support of the library since we've known that the library in some capacity had to be moved for whatever reason. And we have not been the driver of this move. We've been waiting for information. As we get the information, we give the information out to our residents. And as Ed had said, we just got this document Thursday, and we've been asking for it for months.
Okay,
So,
all right, so then is the county the one that has not been communicated?
we've given all the information that we could give.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Nancy Michelson, 88 Meadows Drive. Just to follow up on Manuel, my understanding is that if the town has a county branch a branch of the county library, that it is the town that provides the building, not the county, which means that no building has been planned.
That's not true.
So all the other county libraries are paid for by the county, because my understanding is the Logan Library is paid for by Logan, the Swedesboro Library by Swedesboro, and so
No,
on.
what is not true is that no building was planned. We have been for at least 8 years, for at least 8 years, we have been in search of either a facility or a standalone or something, a place to rehouse the library. We have been unsuccessful, and we are to a point where the current facility is really not habitable,
All
for
right,
lack of a better
I do
term.
have a statement I prepared, just, about general feelings about the library. I've heard about the issue of relocating the Glassboro Library for over 10 years. There was a newspaper article in 2013, there have been petitions, but there's never been any statement from the Glassboro government about their plans for a new library location. At the last town council meeting, the council stated they were being transparent about the library's status, and I believe it. They have said nothing because apparently there was nothing on the master plan about a library location. Flash forward now 10 plus years to 2023, and there are now fewer choices of where to locate a new state-of-the-art Glassboro library. In all of the master planning, it seems nobody looked past the 1950s model of a library as a bunch of books to consider what a 21st century library might look like. The prevailing attitude seems to be, well, people don't read books, so library isn't needed. In all the master planning for a state-of-the-art university and new businesses and downtown housing, nobody had a vision for a 21st century library. Looking at other South Jersey libraries, they include books, of course, electronic media, internet access, a science STEM project area with 3D printing, study rooms, which are important for student and adult tutoring, students getting extra help, students on homebound instruction, adults getting a GED or literacy tutoring, continuing education, people studying for certification tests. There's community meeting rooms, programs for people of all ages, clubs, organizations, workshops, classes, speakers. It's a voting location, a notary public, and photocopying and the occasional fax. Libraries in other towns get used because they have much to offer their residents, and the library has become more than just a collection of books. It's a community hub. It is also my understanding that the libraries in most of the Glassboro schools have been closed, apparently to make classroom space. And when there is a library, access for students is limited. If a kid can't access libraries during or after school, and now with a minimally resourced building, where will kids get books and other resources, access to tutoring, or a safe, quiet place to do their work? Glassboro, with a state-of-the-art university, now providing a lesser library space, both in quantity and quality, to the residents. With few to no books, some computers, no study rooms, insufficient space for programs, a tiny meeting room, and no nearby accessible parking. It is an embarrassment and an insult. The town provides anything that Rowan University, investors, and businesses want, while providing a lesser library space for the residents. Giving it a fancy name, like a kiosk library or a boutique, doesn't cover the fact that it is less space and fewer resources. In a booming university town, everyone except the residents can continue their education here. Who is being enriched by this plan? Certainly not the residents. At the last town council meeting, you talked proudly about a ribbon cutting ceremony for a new ball field. Great for the kids who use the ball fields and the families who watch the games. But there is no such proud announcement about a new library. Just silence because apparently there was less thought put into a library than into a ball field. Think about the baseball movie Field of Dreams, the famous quote, "If you build it, they will come." The same could be true of a Glassboro library, except the town refuses to envision or build it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Diane Kelly, 815 Highland Terrace. A couple questions. You just got the document on Thursday. How can we get a copy of that? so that we can see what?
It's still a
you
draft, unfortunately, so until it's finalized, it's not a public document. So at the moment, it's a draft as of Thursday. We have-
When does that document become solid?
We likely won't be having a review, well, I'll be reviewing internally with administration, but there's not another official meeting until next month for council to consider anything, so
Do you
definitely
think-
not before next month.
Do you think that that would be part of the discussion in next month's council meeting?
I can't assure you to be a discussion, but it might be a document for approval or review,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. And then you had said that the county is paying for the lease at Rowan Boulevard I guess that's Rowan Boulevard. I don't know the name of that street there.
Yeah.
On that corner property.
So, again, to the extent that I've disclosed what the draft shows, it initially shows the county paying for the first 5 years.
For the first 5 years, and then if Glassboro chooses to renew, then we would pick up the cost.
That's correct.
Okay. And then, just to clarify, you said that the county drove, now I've been to our library many times, I used to live right around the corner, but, it is in a state of disrepair. We could definitely use an upgrade in a library. But the county is the one who made the decision that it needs to be moved now, or is the state of the building what's driving that decision?
The state of the building, to answer your question as you stated it, it's the state of the building that needs, well, we've been trying to find a location for this library for at least 8 years.
I read the master plan.
Yes, and
Yeah.
we had a 10,000 square foot site on a proposed redevelopment site that was not liked by the library people that wanted a new library.
They have to approve your decision
We
for that?
also entertained the current library that was at the former intermediate school.
Okay.
That wasn't to the liking as well. And in trying to find a space for the library, the county offered space on Rowan Boulevard for us. So
Okay.
they didn't take over, they basically lent us a hand, if you will, lent all of us a hand.
Okay. Okay, so they didn't approve the other two sites though, and so they have the final say. We can
as your
select a
language,
building.
as far as approving and not approving, we had sites, the sites that I had mentioned did not pan out
Oh,
for
okay.
whatever reason.
It's not that that the council proposed them and they were declined by GLS.
No,
Okay.
I will tell you that we have been in search of a facility
Yeah.
to move the library. And in that search, these opportunities came up and they fell through for whatever reason. And Ed, if you want
So
to
to give you an
expound.
example, when the intermediate school was taken over by Rowan University, we brought the library folks over, there were county officials over. We asked the library folks if this would be conducive for their needs, and at that point, we were told no.
Okay.
So to the fact that you don't see anything in the master plan, I've been in this seat.
Well, I didn't say I didn't see it
No,
in the
but I'm
master
just-
plan, it
just
is in the
to-
master plan.
Right, just
I saw it.
to give clarity.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been looking at possible options for 4 years. I gotta be honest with you too,
Yeah.
we look at options, you know, when we went over to the intermediate school, I think the issue was that it wasn't big enough. And now when I look at numbers, and I'm an ex-banker, if we were to build a state-of-the-art library, you're probably looking $16 million. We had a study that was done back in 2009. What I see now, I worked with Ralph Bingham from the library 2-3 years ago to gather numbers, and if you look at all the Gloucester County libraries, I believe there's 5 of them, including Glassboro. And I know there's other reasons for the library, but you look at circulation, and I looked at the numbers prior to COVID, to be fair, because you don't want to look at them during COVID. So from 2016 to 2019, circulation's down 18.5%, attendance is down 16.1%, And computer sessions, which I found this one strange, down 17.8%. That's out of all of them. So then I even looked at Mullica Hill.
Smartphones.
Exactly. And then I looked at Mullica Hill because I believe that's the newest of the libraries. Their circulation's down 18.2%, attendance down 11.9%, and computer sessions down 34.2%. So when I was a council person, we wanted a library. We still wanted a library, but we have to answer to everyone. So to spend $15 million, and you look at a graph, since 2009 in the state of New Jersey, library attendance and circulation has gone like this. It would cost us, we would have to use all of our bonding capacity. But with all that said, we continued to look for a solution where we could find the money to pay for it. We were never going, to the mayor's point, never going to be without a library. Does that one need to be demolished? Absolutely does. But
So I think I don't remember who said it, but if you build it, they will come. So there's a couple of very beautiful libraries in the county. I've been to Franklinville Library, Monroe Township Libraries. They're very nice, and they're very welcoming to the community. Our library, not so much. It's very dark, it's old, it's cramped. So, but despite all that, there's a lot of good programs that happen there as well. And there's a lot of good services provided. I think we cannot not have a library. So I want to bring up two concerns I have with the location at High Street. One is parking. So I can get to the current library very easily. There's parking for me. I can walk right in. On Rowan Boulevard, I'm going to be forced to use the parking garage and walk over, and honestly, I'm not going to be able to get there, especially if the weather's bad. So that's one concern. So it's not just me, but it's other folks with disabilities, and it's folks that are maybe elderly, can't walk far, etc. The other concern is with the size. From what I understand, our current library is 9,000 square feet, and we're moving, and Rowan Boulevard space is 2,000 square feet. And so then there's the question. Is the county looking at just that first floor space, or are they looking at the floors above, or are those residential floors above?
again, so looking at the agreement for the first time, I believe it's 2,700 square feet.
2,700.
Right,
Okay.
well, I believe, again, I haven't looked at this agreement in detail.
Okay.
Okay, in regards to parking, we're looking at, there's a lot adjacent that is the borough lot that we're gonna use at least for temporary parking. In regards to the programs, I am not a librarian, I don't think anybody is up here, but when we got feedback from the library saying that this is gonna be a great solution, I'm all in favor of it. If they're telling me it's gonna be a great solution, and again, I wanna champion the county for driving this. I think they did a heck of a job, because we tried to do it. I told you the place we looked at, it wasn't good enough. That's where it stands. I can't answer, I don't think anybody up here can answer other than the librarian. And I sent her a note saying, if you think this is great, I'm ecstatic. I am ecstatic. So,
Even despite the reduced size.
again, I don't know. All I know is my kids, when they were little, they were going to that library every day for storybook time.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I haven't been to a library, I hate to say this,
Okay.
in 50 years.
Okay. I think that was all my questions. Size of the space. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my, those were my questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll be asking them tomorrow too, don't,
Very good.
don't worry, I'll be there.
Thank you very much, as
Thank
you
you.
should, yes.
Seeing no other persons from the public wishing to speak, I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
I have a motion.
Well, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry, hey.
Do have someone up there.
You didn't finish yet, right?
No.
Okay, well, I have a question, what's gonna happen?
Sorry, excuse me, sir, before you
Oh,
begin.
my name is
Yeah.
Robert Hofer, I
Thank
live
you.
at 419 Cornell Road.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, what's gonna happen to the current property where the library is at now?
So that most likely will be demolished, and we're looking at that particular area for redevelopment purposes.
Exactly, what do you mean by redevelopment?
It's not etched in stone yet, but there could be potentially a new apartment complex, there could be new retail on the first floor, of that apartment complex. There's nothing etched in stone at this point, but it is in need of redevelopment, and that's what we'd be looking for.
Do you have potential buyers?
I really can't, all that's been discussed has been in closed session at this point, so I really, and I don't
Yep.
think my
No, not on
solicitor
that
would
one,
let me
yeah.
divulge anything at this point.
Not at this point.
Not at this point.
Not at this point, okay.
But one of the things we did put on the
Yeah,
agenda
I
tonight.
have a quick question though. You know, because at one point someone told me about these sunshine laws that when you meet in private like that, you really can't keep the public out unless there's an individual being spoken about, perhaps a lawsuit or something like that. So in this case, this doesn't seem to fit that bill, so to speak.
Well, I can assure you, Mr. Hopper, that we're complying with the Open Public Meetings Act, and there are a category of items
Okay.
of which permit people to
Alright.
go in, and contractual, labor, litigation, attorney-client privilege are all
Okay.
permitted. and-
All right, I understand.
and We're
Okay.
certainly not trying to violate the law.
No,
I promise you.
that's okay. So you do possibly have some plan in mind down the future for where that particular site is at. Is there any chance that with that particular site that a new library could be incorporated in the building that might be there?
Don't know at this point. I'd have to talk to the
I mean,
developer.
like you said, my kids also went to Story Hour at the library, you know,
Yep.
my wife was involved in that, I wasn't so much, you know, but, all right, it seems like a shame because there are a lot of programs that were offered there.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not gonna argue with your statistics there about how the use of the library has gone down over the years. All right, and it just seems a shame that you have to give that up. All right, anyhow, that's all I got to ask about the library. And I kind of waited till the end because I know there's a lot of people here that were concerned about that. I have another question though. I noticed on Martin Luther King Road, there's a lot of digging going on back in the woods there. What's the plan for that? I spoke to the engineer that was on site one day, and I didn't pin him down, all right, just asked him what was going on. I know they're doing soil samples, and he told me that because of the degree of the soil samples being taken, he estimated that it was probably for residential development. So what's going on there?
Well, there's 14 acres that are privately owned on MLK.
Okay.
And they could be looking to redevelop it,
Okay.
to develop it. We recently, about 2 years ago, met with a lot of residents out there, and a lot of that zoning was, correct me, Clark, what was it? OP? Was office park, and we asked the residents, like we said to them, to be transparent, it's not staying this way forever, it's prime location. So would you rather have it OP or would you rather have it residential? OP being office park. You wanna have businesses or do you wanna have houses? And we met with them out there and it was pretty much unanimous that they wanted residential. So most likely that area, that 14 acres, it is gonna be developed. It's going to be townhomes, most likely. And what we will try to do, we are trying to increase housing stock in the borough. As you may or may not know, our schools have declined over the last couple of years. Believe it or not, they're starting to come back. We wanna have housing stock that is not conducive necessarily for college rentals. So we wanted a little more higher end. And for us to give a redevelopment deal, which makes it easier for the builder, we would predicate that on being higher end housing. So instead of having a 2-story townhome that could rent like that, maybe a 3-story townhome that's more attractive to a family versus an investor.
So you're looking at townhomes?
I'm not
as
looking
opposed
at
to
that, I'm
single
not
home?
looking at any,
I
that's
mean-
privately owned there.
Right, I understand that, but you have a vision of what you want to see there. I mean.
Doesn't matter what my vision is, if they come in with townhomes and they want a redevelopment plan or a tax break, we're gonna try to have it on a higher end home. I think what developers are doing now, 14 acres sounds like a lot, it's not a lot of space, they're gonna try to create as much density as they can. Well, again, if you want a 5-year tax abatement, you better have a pretty high end townhome, that's the only way we get to have a say. That right now, zone residential, somebody can go build 2-story townhomes there if they'd like right now.
Right, so who's in charge of all the testing that's being done there, and why is that being done?
I don't.
Well, somebody hired the engineers to go out there, who hired the engineers? The engineer doesn't come on site on a privately owned.
Yep.
Pardon me?
Property owner, yeah.
So the property owner, can you
Private property.
say the name of the property owner?
I don't,
Bob, I don't, if you know the name of who owns the property, I
Tax
don't.
records indicate that Take-Two Holdings owns the property.
Okay.
yeah.
So they're, the actual owner then is in charge of the
Yes.
testing that's being done. All right, okay, all right, so, thank you very much for that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Couldn't see it.
And if I could just add, to be transparent, hope you don't mind, Mayor, I mean, we did pass tonight redevelopment plans, redevelopment agreements for Academy and High, which is in that neighborhood. The vision of this council is to bring a neighborhood back.
Right,
So, to bring a neighborhood back where you don't have one right now.
right.
So they did approve, 78 duplexes, top and bottom, higher end, developer. This is our property, so we can control a lot of it. The upper units are probably gonna start around 375 to 400,000, have rooftop decks. The lower ones, we've tried to build restrictions as much as we can into these agreements, so they're not leased. I gotta be careful what I say, cause we'll get sued. To try to not make them investor-like properties. We are trying our hardest to bring families back to Glassboro. So that's what is going on, so I wanna be transparent, and, I mean, it's here, it's on this piece of paper.
If you don't mind, since you brought that up, I noticed you stopped the clock. I'm sorry about that, but what about the ridge section of Glassboro? All right, and I noticed they're building some of these, 10 and 12 bedroom places, and it just seems to be destroying the nature of the neighborhood. Now, I know that if there's a vacant lot where the owner, the guy comes in and buys the property, and I understand what's happening on the ridge. You know, you get older families move away, the parents are getting old, they can't keep it up, somebody comes in and buys it. They're not happy with the property, they tear it down, so on. Is there anything being done to try to dampen that? I mean, because it's really.
One of the things we tried to do, and what I can say is, over the last 2 years, we've tried to control the parties that are going on out there. And what we've done is, we've sent notices to all landlords the start of every year, and said, listen, if your property becomes a nuisance property and we have an ordinance, we're gonna move to remove your license. We're not gonna fine you, because the fines were doing no good.
Right.
They would pay the fines. If you take that license from them, they can no longer rent it. For the most part, it's been my understanding anecdotally, and from the amount of people who have been coming in this courtroom, that has worked. Will it ever get back to the old ridge? Probably not. Tim, I don't know if we could say anything in regards to the bigger houses.
We're looking at potential changes and address it through land use master plan. We're actively discussing it as we speak.
Yes.
But I just recently heard that some of these places, they can rent 2 students to a bedroom if the bedroom has enough square footage, and I understand that's like 100 square foot for a bedroom.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you pass one of these, and we're not in favor of this, you need 70 square feet to have a bedroom.
That's 70, that's 7 by 10 foot.
That's ridiculous.
You can't even fit a person in there.
Correct.
None of us would wanna sleep.
We
in
don't
that thing.
disagree with you.
Right.
We are 100% on your side with this. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Very,
Yep.
very much, yes.
If there are no others, I'll maintain my motion to close the public portion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, public portion is now closed for this evening. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve all duly authorized bills.
Move that all duly authorized bills be paid.
Second.
That all duly authorized bills be paid.
All right, I have a motion and second that all duly authorized bills be paid. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions?
Abstentions, Mayor.
Yes, please.
23-02742, 02797, 03432, and 03747.
Thank you. Any other abstentions?
Yeah, I have an abstention, Mayor, on PO number 23-03694. Thank you.
Thank you. Those abstentions have been noted. Motion still carries. Any closing comments from our administrator?
The only thing I'd like to say is I appreciate you all coming out. I try to be as honest as I can. The easiest thing for us to do as me being a politician or the administrator is to tell everybody yes. But the toughest part about this job is you're never gonna make everybody happy. So you try to weigh both sides of it. I try to look at the financial impact on the whole borough. If a new library were to put in place, try to look at solutions. But the bottom line is, I appreciate you coming out, expressing your concerns, and we will continue. I mean, these guys are my bosses. From the day I took this seat, it was find another library, find another library. May not be what we want, maybe for 5 years, don't know, but I just wanted to thank you all for coming out.
Thank you. I would first like to congratulate and thank the Park and Rec Golf Committee for all the hard work that they put into and for the generous donation back to our Park and Rec program. In particular, Elena Power, Amanda Ortiz, and Patty Owen from Sickles and Associates, who really took on the heavy load to make this event happen every year. As I say always to all those, to reiterate what Ed has said, thank you all those that came up to speak and voice your concerns, thank you very much. We encourage it, we continue to keep coming back. That's how we get questions answered, that's how we find out what's going on. Again, we have always been championing a library, we always want a library, we support a library, and I cannot foresee us ever not supporting a library. And just to reiterate this as well, the borough is actively watching everything. We're watching the amount of students that are coming in, where they're living, the traffic, everything. We are doing the best we possibly can, and I think we're doing a pretty doggone good job of it. We still have work to do. We're a growing municipality. As the university is growing, we're growing together, and we're growing together well. It's not without its pains, but rest assured, the focus for all of the people up here, including myself, is you as residents. It starts and stops with you. And we'll be as transparent as we possibly can. And again, I encourage you all to continue to be out and come out and ask questions to get the real answers, because this is where you will get them. Thank you again, and with that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. This meeting is now adjourned. Again, thank you all very much for coming. The next regular meeting will be October 10th, 2023, 6:30 p.m.